Hey friends, happy Sunday and welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I am Taylor, I'm a stay-at-home wife and mom, and I share these What's for Dinner videos every Sunday to hopefully give you some new meal ideas and motivate you to cook more for your family. So if you like these videos, I hope that you'll subscribe down below. Today I have mostly easy meals that I've made before to share with you, but the last two meals in this video are new and they were both delicious. So make sure you stay tuned for those. Now let's go ahead and get into this week's What's for Dinner. Friday night, I made Mississippi chicken thighs, which is just a spin on the Mississippi pot roast most of us know and love. So I'm starting off with about 1.5 pounds of chicken thighs in my crock pot. And then I added on half of a packet of au jus gravy mix and half of a packet of ranch seasoning. And then I like to add in vegetables. So I do a 2-pound bag of baby potatoes cut up and about a 2-pound bag of carrots cut up. And then I add on the rest of the ranch seasoning and the au jus seasoning. Top it with either some pepperoncinis or banana peppers. This time I did the sliced banana peppers. And I added in a little bit of that juice and 1 stick of butter sliced. And then I put a lid on this and let it cook on low for about 8 hours. Then once it's done, you can either remove the chicken or remove the veggies and shred the chicken separately. But it was just so tender and falling apart, I just decided to kind of shred up the chicken in there with the veggies. And then I served this over rice. Typically, I don't even eat the rice. I just prefer to eat more of the potatoes. But for whatever reason this night, I just really wanted it over rice. So we all had it over rice. And this is a staple dinner in our house. I will make Mississippi flavored stuff at least once a month, whether it's Mississippi pot roast or Mississippi chicken thighs, or I've done country style ribs, especially in the fall and winter time when we're eating more crock pot meals. You will definitely see the Mississippi flavored stuff often. Saturday night we had chili cheese tots. So I took chili and nacho cheese from my freezer, let it thaw in the fridge all day, and then just warmed them up on the stove. I like to freeze both the nacho cheese and my chili in quart-sized bags flat in the freezer, so they thaw out pretty quickly. And I did 2 bags of the chili, 1 bag of the nacho cheese, and then we ate it over tater tots, or they're actually the crispy crowns, and it was delicious. We topped it with a little bit of extra cheese, and it was a great way to just use up some stuff that I had in the freezer and made for a really easy dinner. Sunday was super simple. We just had spaghetti, cooked up some ground beef, added some of our favorite Aldi brand marinara to it, and we had it over some thin spaghetti noodles with some Parmesan cheese on top. Definitely a easy family favorite meal. Monday night we had chicken quesadillas. I like to make my chicken for this in the crock pot. I always use some sort of taco seasoning. This time I had this carne asada street taco seasoning mix that needed to be used because it was close to expiring. I know it'll be fine for a while, but I just wanted to use it up because it's been in there for a long time already. And I know carne asada, it's supposed to be used on beef, but I was whatever, it'll be fine on chicken, and it was fine. It turned out delicious. But if you don't have that, you can just use any kind of taco seasoning. A packet of taco seasoning works great. And then I do half of a jar of salsa. This is a big, I think 32-ounce jar of salsa, and so I did half of that. So if you're using a small jar, just use 16 ounces. And then I put a lid on this in the crock pot and let it cook on high for 4 hours. Or low for 8 hours, whatever you want to do. And then when it's done, all you got to do is shred it up, or you could chop it up if you want to. And you can use this for tacos or quesadillas like I'm doing, or I even do it this way for enchiladas. And then you're just going to want to assemble your quesadillas. I did some of the Mexican blend cheese from Aldi, and then some of the chicken, and then some of the quesadilla cheese from Walmart. I don't get that often. I know Kroger has one too, but I happened to be at Walmart this day buying some other things, and I was like, you know what would be really good on those quesadillas? Some of that quesadilla cheese. So if you shop at Walmart regularly, or even Kroger, I recommend the quesadilla cheese. It just melts really good and has good flavor, and I like it in quesadillas. So I just made 2 quesadillas at a time. Made them in batches so that all of us could have our chicken quesadillas. And then to go with it, we had some salsa con queso and some guacamole. The kids had guacamole. Andy and I just had chips and salsa and cheese dip. And I also had some sour cream because I like to dip my quesadillas in sour cream as well. And that was dinner for Monday. Tuesday, we all got shots, updated COVID shots and flu shots for the year. And so we all were just feeling kind of blah after that, and we didn't feel like cooking. So the kids had different things for dinner. Elijah wanted a turkey sandwich with some barbecue chips, and Lily had ABC's 1, 2, 3s and meatballs. I snacked on some like cheese and crackers, and then Andy made some tuna mac and cheese, and I had some of that as well, and he ate the rest of it. And that was dinner for Tuesday. Wednesday night, I tried a new recipe for a meatball tortellini soup, and this recipe is so easy and pretty quick to put together. So in a big pot, I am adding 6 cups of water, or you could do 4 cups of beef broth and 2 cups of water. I am going to be adding in 4 teaspoons of beef bouillon so that can turn into some beef broth. And then you're going to want to add in some crushed garlic and 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. The recipe calls for 1 cup of frozen mixed veggies. My family doesn't love mixed veggies, so I did 1 can of mixed veggies that I drained. And then for seasoning, I did some oregano, basil, salt, thyme, black pepper, and then I also did a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder. And then the recipe calls for 2 cups of frozen meatballs that have been thawed, but I did not think it was necessary to thaw the meatballs, so I did not do that. I feel like the only difference is it took a little bit longer to boil. And then I also did 4 cups of meatballs because mine are really big, and I measured out 2 cups and I was like, that's not very many meatballs at all. So I did 4 cups of these meatballs, and these are the Italian style beef meatballs from Sam's Club. So once you have all of that in your pot, all you're going to do is give it a good stir, and I brought it to a boil over like a medium-high heat, stirring it often. Once it came to a boil, all you need to do is add in your tortellini. I'm just using 8 ounces of dried tortellini, and then you just boil it according to the package directions. For me, it said to cook it for 8 minutes. I think using like the refrigerated tortellini would be fine too. You would just obviously cook it for less time, because I think those refrigerated ones usually say like boil it for 3 minutes, so less time. But yeah, after that, I just gave it a good stir and turned the heat off, and it was ready to serve. Topped it with a little bit of Parmesan cheese and ate it with a breadstick, and it was delicious. It was so flavorful, and we loved it. Thursday night, I kind of made up a new recipe for a smoked sausage, cheesy rice, and broccoli skillet. I looked at a couple different recipes, and none of them were exactly what I wanted, so I kind of made up my own thing. I like to do that a lot, like look at recipes and then kind of come up with something different when they don't have exactly what I want. So I'm starting off by browning up 1 pound of smoked sausage that I sliced, and then once that's a little bit browned, it's a little bit almost burnt, but it's fine. I added in 1 diced onion and a couple chopped mini sweet peppers. You could do a bell pepper, whatever you want, but I've always got these mini sweet peppers on hand because the kids love them, so I'll throw those into recipes sometimes. And I cooked that up for a couple minutes until the onions started to get tender, and then I added in some minced garlic. I did about 4 cloves of minced garlic and cooked that for like 30 seconds to a minute. Then I'm going to add in 1 cup of white rice. This is just regular white rice, not like instant rice or anything, regular white rice. And then I added in some seasoning. So I did a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder, and then a little bit of Tony's Creole seasoning. And I just stirred that around, let it cook for like a minute or 2 so the rice could get a little bit toasted. And then I'm going to add in 2 cups of water, or you could do chicken broth, but I added in water and then Knorr chicken bouillon. And then I also added in half of a bag of frozen broccoli. If you like broccoli a lot, you could add more. Next time I think I might add a little bit more because it wasn't very much. But this time I just did half a bag because that's what I had in my freezer left over from another recipe. And then all you want to do is bring this to a boil over like a medium-high heat. Once it's boiling, you give it a good stir, and then you can put a lid on this and let it simmer over low heat for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, your rice should be done and all of that liquid should be absorbed. So then you can just go in and add in a bunch of cheese. I added in about a cup of cheese and stirred that in, and then topped it with another cup of cheese and put the lid back on this with the heat off, just to let that cheese melt for a few minutes. And then this is ready to serve once all that cheese is melted. It turned out delicious, super cheesy, and I love easy one-pot meals. This one was great, and I will definitely make it again. And that is going to be it for this week's What's for Dinner. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. I hope that you got some new meal ideas. Let me know in the comments down below if you plan on trying any of these recipes. And make sure you leave me a smiley face emoji down in the comments as well to let me know that you made it here all the way to the end. I hope y'all have a great rest of your weekend and a great week, and I will see y'all on the next one. Bye!